Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is my first big video that I've filmed since I've come back to YouTube. So many things have changed in the last 3 years. Where we live has changed, what I'm doing in my day-to-day life has changed, the kids have grown up so much. So I've probably got a lot of content coming out, kind of catching up on the last 3 years of my life. Today's video is going to be a recipe video, 3 healthy recipe snack meals. I don't know why that was so hard to say. Hopefully this gives you some inspiration as to some recipes that you can cook healthily for yourself. My diet has changed a lot in the last 3 years. I'm focusing so much more on my health now. I was basically just skipping meals before, whereas now I'm not. I'm meal planning for myself. I now have a diary where I record what meals and snacks I'm going to make for myself, because I don't always eat the same thing that the kids like, because we like different things. So without further ado, let's jump into 3 of my favorite snack recipes that I have kind of on rotation in my meal planning / diary.
First up, I'm making kale chips. I know what you're thinking. Ew, kale chips, gross. But hear me out. They're delicious. Even Evie eats them. She's 5 years old now and she is obsessed with them. First thing you're going to do is get your kale leaves and just remove the stem part in the middle, because they're not great. You don't want those to end up being in your kale chips because they don't taste great, they don't cook great. Just remove them. So I cut them up first, pop them in a bowl, and then I cover them with extra virgin olive oil. I don't use too much extra virgin olive oil, otherwise they won't crisp up in the oven. So I just drizzle with a little bit of that, maybe like a tablespoon or something like that. And then I'm going to massage the oil into each individual leaf just to ensure that they are coated in the extra virgin olive oil. Then I'm going to add them to my baking dish and cover them with salt, like a generous amount of salt, but you can use as much salt as you like or as little salt as you like. I did some research just recently and found out that you can actually make these ahead of time and store them in the pantry at room temperature for 2 to 3 days. So that's what I'm doing today. Usually I make these and then eat them the same day, but I'm making them ahead of time now. You cook them for about 15 minutes at 150 degrees. Every oven is different, so make sure you're checking on it every 5 minutes just to make sure that they're not burning. You want them to be crisp when they come out of the oven, no soft spots, because if they're soft at all, they will taste not great. Once they're fully crispy, they're ready to come out of the oven, and like I said, I'm going to try storing them in an airtight container in the cupboard in my pantry for 2 to 3 days, and just grab a few here and there as I snack. Evie will probably eat all these because she's obsessed with them. I've compiled all of the recipes that I have tried and tested and enjoyed, and I've put them in this little folder for myself so that I can look back on them. I get my recipes from TikTok and just the internet and all over the place, so this is just a way to compile them all into the one book so that when I'm doing my weekly meal preps, I can refer to this book to know how to cook them. Now I'm going to make cinnamon cookie protein balls. These are great. I actually make these every single week because they're one of my favorite snacks to kind of fill me up. I only have one a day, but they really do fill me up, I think, because of the protein and the carbs in the oats. I'm going to start with 3/4 of a cup of regular rolled oats, and then follow that with 1/2 cup of cashew spread or cashew butter. I wasn't sure if there was going to be enough left in the first jar, so I grabbed the second one out just in case, even though it is another brand. But I had just enough, literally the exact right amount of cashew butter for this recipe. If it's a bit too hard, you can pop it in the microwave for about 10 or 15 seconds just to soften it up a little bit and make it a little bit easier to form into the balls at the end. So that's what I did. I just put it in the microwave for about 10 seconds. I don't even know if it really made that much of a difference, but anyway, I did it anyway. Now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of honey just to sweeten the balls up and make it like a little sweet treat. Now I'm going to add my vanilla whey protein, and it's 35 grams, this little packet. So I just buy these purely for this recipe from Coles, I think it is. And then I'm just going to add 1 tablespoon of raisins or sultanas or whatever those things are. I think they're both, you can call it both. Then I'm just going to sprinkle with the heart with cinnamon. Then I'm going to just stir it all together in a bowl. I love this recipe because you literally just chuck it all in a bowl and stir it together, and that's it. It's pretty tricky at first to try and get it all incorporated, but once I've used the spoon to my absolute best ability. I go in with my hands, obviously clean hands, to kind of mold it like a dough, like you're kneading bread. Then I'm just going to roll them into balls about this size. It makes 6 exactly, which is perfect for this little container. And then I just pop them in the fridge and they last me the entire 6 days. So I'll have one a day. So depending on whether I eat one the day I'm making it, they last 5 or 6 days for me in the fridge, and I haven't had any issues with that. The next thing I'm going to make is strawberry donuts. I actually got this recipe from a content creator on TikTok. I will link her down below so you can go check out her other recipes. She's got a bunch of really good like toddler friendly recipes. This is obviously, you just saw there I have raspberries. Unfortunately, for some reason, Woolworths was out of strawberries this week. So in my weekly delivery, they decided to deliver raspberries instead of strawberries. So we're having raspberry donuts this week. So basically I'm just going to add all of my donut ingredients, which is 1 cup of flour, half a tablespoon of baking powder, 1/4 cup of coconut oil, half a cup of Greek yogurt, 2 tablespoons of honey, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, 1 egg, and then I'm just going to stir all of that together before adding my blended strawberries, or in today's case, raspberries, because like I said, they have no strawberries. I'm going to add 1 cup of raspberries to my blender and then just blitz it up until it's like a liquid basically. And then I'm going to pour that into my mixture and just stir it all together until it's completely incorporated and a lovely pink color. Then I'm going to grab my donut molds and spray them with extra virgin olive oil. As soon as I saw this recipe on TikTok, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to go buy some donut molds because that looks delicious. And that's exactly what I did. I got them off Amazon. If I can find them on Amazon, I'll link them down below for you guys. So I'm just gonna pop my dough into my donut molds. And I had a little bit extra to make, I think, 2 more donuts. So all up, I made 8 donuts with this recipe today. And then I just pop it in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for 18 minutes. And this comes out perfectly every single time. Obviously you can see a pot on the stove there. I'm cooking dinner at the same time as making these donuts. So just ignore that saucepan on the stove there. Here's my donuts. They came out beautifully as always. And then I just pop them out of the molds onto a heat-proof chopping board. This is what they look like before making the frosting and frosting them. Now I'm going to do that. So to make the frosting, I'm going to add half a cup of raspberries or 70 grams of strawberries, depending on which one you're using, and 2 tablespoons of cream cheese, and just blitz that up. It is a little bit more difficult to blitz this one because it's a thicker consistency than just the raspberries on its own, but blitz it until it looks about like this. This is going to be your frosting. Then you just add 1/3 of a cup of fine desiccated coconut to a little bowl as well. And now you're going to just dip each individual donut into the raspberry and cream cheese and then into your desiccated coconut. Look how cute that is. It's delicious and I love it. It's great for toddlers, it's great for adults. This is a little snack that I treat myself to almost every single week. I love it because it's not overly sweet and obviously it's healthier than normal donuts. What I do is I chuck them into a container, an airtight container, and put them in the fridge. They generally last me about 5 days in the fridge.
Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Hopefully it gave you some inspiration as to a couple of recipes that you might like for yourself. If you want to see more videos like this, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm so excited to start interacting with you guys in the comments again. I didn't realize how much I had missed this until I started filming and editing again. So hopefully more content coming at you soon. See you soon, guys.